Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to Sunshine for the Soul. So happy for you to stop by today and hang out with me for your 8/8 Lionsgate portal is open, and we are going to take a look at the energies and what they're bringing in for our single and sexy. And if you are a new subscriber to our community, I just wanted to say welcome. I appreciate everybody here so much, giving your love and your light and your energy to building this community so that we together can support each other during this time that we're transcending, ascending, and coming into the realization that we are energetic spiritual beings. So I wanted to start off today with talking a little bit about the Lionsgate portal. Now, any of my other readings that are posted with the blue screen and the 8/8 portal on top of it, it has a detailed description about the Lionsgate. But I wanted to particularly touch on today, let's talk about the star Sirius in relation to the Lionsgate portal. Now, Sirius rises in unison with the sun. We know that the sun is our source of light and life force here on Earth. Sirius is known as the spiritual sun. It gives off an immense source of frequency on the spiritual plane. It is also considered the brightest star in the sky. Sirius is also known as the dog star. It is located just south to the constellation of Orion, and it's called Dog Star because it's part of the constellation Canis Major, and that's Latin for the greater dog. This is just some little trivia for you. It is 8.6 light years away from our solar system. The Sirius star has a mass of 2.1 times that of our sun, so a little over double. It has been called a rainbow star as it often flickers with many colors. And interesting enough, it gets reported a lot as a UAP or a UFO because it changes colors, interesting enough. And I looked up in Greek mythology, Sirius was the dog of the hunter Orion. You know, you hear that saying, the dog days of summer. Well, because of the star Sirius being in that constellation Canis Major, that refers to the period of July through August. You know, the hottest days, and that's when we see Sirius on the horizon, and that's when we have our energetic portal of 8/8, where all this energy flows. In addition to our own sun, we really get a lot of energy from Sirius. With that said, I'll give you a little astrology background. I'm trying to mix that in with my readings. I have pulled a Starseed Oracle card for us today. It says karmic relationships. This is actually Orion energy. So we saw that Sirius was at the tip, the southern part of the Orion constellation. And this has to do with polarity, soul growth, and possibly even conflict. And I'm going to read what it says to you. The constellation Orion is thought by many to have been a place of great polarity and eventual unity. Some believe that many starseeds who were part of the cosmic history are incarnate on Earth now and are playing out karmic relationships from the times of Orion. Perhaps you're one of them. Polarity causes conflict and highlights separation. However, because of this, conflict can also result in unity and growth. Too many misunderstandings are caused when we don't open our heart and mind and see things from a different point of view. When we go into reactive, second-guessing mode, instead of gathering the courage to open our heart, we should admit that we may have reacted because of our own woundings and then find mutual ground. We're all innocent children looking to be seen, understood, and cherished. It's much harder to grow closer through conflict than it is to grow further apart. And yet that's the invitation of conflict. It's easy to react and take things personally. It's more challenging to see the innocence of all involved and find a way to grow closer through the conflict. It's through relationships that we grow the most. How can you soften your heart and drop your defense enough to see things from a different point of view? How can you see the innocence of all involved? How can you learn to see the similarities rather than the differences? So this Lionsgate portal for us single and sexies is wanting us to take a closer look and see if there are places in our lives where we could soften, where we could look at things differently and understand even painful experiences or things we consider losses or failures or ended relationships. They were lessons for us. And that person involved with you was there to support you in the lesson that you needed to learn, that your soul arranged for you to learn. So holding any bitterness towards the fact that you went in and you had this experience and maybe it ended painfully, you went into that experience well knowing in advance and you had set that up before you came here. This blueprint was that you were going to come down here and you were going to learn these lessons. So then we can look at these trials and tribulations and these challenges with people in our life and understand that they were there for a purpose too. Even if they were difficult, whatever we went through was happening for us, wasn't happening to us. So Starseed Soul Inquiry, it says, which relationships do you find the most challenging? How can you see things from a different perspective? How are you being called to allow growth through the conflict? And you can hear this today and you can just think about it for a minute and then you can let it pass, or you can get out a pen and a piece of paper and write on the top of the page, which relationships do you find the most challenging? If you want to know how to heal and grow and spiritually evolve, it starts with doing something like this. It starts with addressing our emotions and our triggers that come up and looking into why we have them. It starts with us recognizing that challenging relationships that we have in our life are there to teach us something. What is it trying to teach us? When we go into introspection, everything we do and every experience we have becomes a teaching. So today, I'm going to pull some cards and we are going to take a look at what message we have for you single and sexy. We kind of started off a little serious today, didn't we? Oh, that's funny. No pun intended. Get it? We're talking about the Sirius star. Okay, I'm not going to go there. I completely digress some days. All right. So I'm using I think this is the Haunted Mansion deck. It's got a lot of symbolization. It's kind of new to me, so I'm digging it right now. And we're going to take a look at just what the energies have for you, all right? See what the universe wants you to see in this portal. We already got a glimpse of what it's bringing to our attention, looking at those karmic relationships, those challenging relationships. And I've got two cards right off the bat. I've got the 10 of Wands and the 8 of Swords. All right, so first let's take a look at the 10 of Wands. And what I'm noticing is that the 10 of Wands has a divine masculine on it. That's energy, not gender. And the 8 of Swords has a divine feminine on it. So right off the bat, it seems to me like we have two stories going on. And single and sexies, this is the way I'm going to play this one out. I'm going to split the cards and I'm going to ask questions about them separately. So let's start with the 10 of Wands. The divine masculine here on the card is carrying logs tied to his back. You can see the city kind of far off. He's coming out of the woods. Tens are about endings of cycles. And this character is carrying a very heavy load. He knows he's almost at his destination, and then he can release those heavy burdens. He's been lugging them on his back. He's been on a journey. You can see, there's 10 of them there. You can't get any more than 10 wands. So he is maxed out on the burdens that he can carry, and he is very energetically exhausted. So I'm going to pull a couple more cards in regards to how we handle some karmic relationships, some polarities, some conflicts in our life, and how we can look at them differently and have some soul growth because of those experiences. So tell us a little bit more about the 10 of Wands. This divine masculine that is weighted down. And we've got the King of Swords in the reverse, Temperance, and we've got the Ace of Wands. All right, so let's look at the King of Swords in the reverse. Now, he's the King of Truth. He's air energy. This is Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. A King of Swords is very straightforward, honest, strong communicator, very brave, courageous, very intellectual. In the reverse, and what I see transpiring here about this divine masculine, headed to the city to release burden. So we have that as, our strongest energy, our first energy out. And this is before this divine masculine moved forward. It's considering all facets of a situation, before taking steps. And he's headed to that city in the distance to release those burdens. And he has considered all aspects. He's done due diligence in making a decision on whether or not to move forward and to go release these burdens. He's headed towards his destination. Now, Temperance, that's major arcana, card number 14, normally masculine energy, but in this Haunted Mansion deck, it is depicted by a divine feminine. She is angelic. She has a set of wings. She has brown hair, really, really long. You can see that it's braided. And what's interesting, she's got a little duck in the background watching her. She is pouring her cup, her emotions of love, into another cup, and you can see that water represents emotions. So this Temperance card has a heavy energy of emotions. Yeah, and Temperance is Sagittarius energy. So this is, I walk the middle path and nourish wholeness, wanting to bring balance and being patient. So this is blending energies. Let's keep following the path. Releasing burdens. The King of Swords has definitely considered all facets. This is patience and also finding harmony in a situation. This is trusting the universe. So it seems to me like he has put his trust in the universe, that he is following his intuition, and he's looking to blend some energies. Sorry. All right, so the Ace of Wands in the reverse, we know aces are very powerful. This is the opportunity to manifest something in the physical, and the Ace of Wands is the card of creativity. It's new ideas, seeds of potential, the arrival of inspiration, it's illumination. But in the reverse, it's still not a bad thing. It's still an ace. It just means that this creative potential is there, but it just hasn't fully manifested yet. So in other words, this King of Swords in the reverse is headed to release these burdens. He's headed to his destination. He's being patient. He's putting trust in the universe. He's made the decision after careful consideration to want to blend these energies, and that creative potential is there to co-create. It just hasn't fully manifested yet. And this may not have anything to do with a relationship. We've seen no cards of quote-unquote relationship yet. This could be about, manifesting any desire or any passion that you have. This could be building a new business. This could be moving to the woods and buying land and building a cabin. This could be traveling. This could be anything that we're looking to manifest. But this character, this divine masculine, definitely seems to be in the correct headspace for what he has to do. He really does seem to be on a little bit of a mission. So let's ask, okay, but I have to go there. We see he's headed to that city. Let's ask, what's in that city? Where is he headed? All right, so interesting enough, I just pulled the Judgment card number 20. And this deck, I love the symbolization on it, because normally, like in the Rider-Waite deck, Judgment is a divine being, blowing the trumpet, and it usually depicts judgment on others and on a different plane. There's a lot of different versions of the Judgment card, but this one in particular is interesting because it has so many characters on it, and I'm going to put it on the screen for you. The Judgment card is ruled by Pluto. It's a fire element, and as I learn about the planets and I add astrology to my readings, one of the things I know about Pluto right off the top of my head is that it is the planet of destruction. And destruction is kind of like the tower. It doesn't mean that it's all bad. It can mean that our beliefs, our fears, our doubts, family belief systems, or dogma that we no longer resonate with come crashing down, that we've held in this tower. It burns everything down, so we start thinking from a new perspective. So with that in mind, okay, that this is ruled by Pluto, the destructor, this card is really interesting because it has a divine masculine and a divine feminine, male and groom skeletons. This is a couple in the forefront, and you can see that there is a celebration. There's a lot of different characters going on in this. There's one couple over here. Here's a dude playing the piano. There's a whole band, and then you have an angelic being that's like playing the saxophone underneath the moon, and it seems like it's a celebration. When I asked what's in the city, it seems to me like this is almost looking like someone's made a big decision. This could actually, in this story, be a card of marriage. This is someone who's been really honest with themselves. We are all faced with choices that will have an astounding effect on your entire life. This is an epiphany. This is a dynamic new beginning, a renewal, a transition. This character, this Ten of Wands character, this Knight of Swords in the reverse divine masculine, has had some self-realization or understanding. That's why he's headed to the city. In the city is judgment. Yes, judgment in releasing the burdens, judgment in transitioning, judgment in redemption of something. It looks to me like this just took a really weird turn and went right to romance. This seems like this divine masculine is headed somewhere in regards to marriage or some type of commitment, some type of union. This still could be business, let's be honest. It could be about bringing two companies together and having a merger. We have a divine masculine, just in recap, who's headed to the city to release all these burdens. He's evaluated every aspect of it. Sounds like an overanalyzing Virgo, and he's been patient and determined, and he sees this opportunity to create something. It just hasn't happened yet. But this is a Ten of Wands is a card of action. He's on the move. So let's take a look at this other character now, because we know what that divine masculine is doing over there. All right, if you guys are digging this and you're into this story, I'm like, well, what's going to happen? It's really fun to get into this. Liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting. Puts your energy towards the community and helps it grow, and we appreciate that. And I'm going to use a different deck in order to pull cards on our divine feminine here that is in the Eight of Swords energy. And remember, we're talking about the 8-8 portal, the Lion's Gate. What is this revealing to us? Where is there an opportunity to have a new experience? All right, so the Eight of Swords is air element. Swords are about our communication and thoughts. So I'm really looking at what's depicted in this card here today. First of all, we've got a divine feminine who is blindfolded, so she can't see around her. She's trapped because these 8 swords are pinned through her dress and into the ground, so she can't move. Now, like I said, swords are communications and thoughts, so something in regards to communication, waiting for communication, her communicating, or something to do with her thoughts has kept her trapped. She's unable to see to release herself, and it looks to me like she has been there for a long time because there is snow on the ground. You see that? And it's kind of melted. You see some of the spots where you can see the grass coming through. So maybe this divine feminine has felt trapped since spring, okay? That's just what I'm coming up with looking at this. She's got really, really long brown hair. You can see it blowing in the wind, and she's wearing a red dress. Now, red symbolizes passion. And if we look back at the Ten of Wands, he also has a red jacket on. He's wearing a cute little gray cap on his head. That's adorable. But both of them are wearing red, which to me says that this is something that both of these characters are passionate about. And divine feminine, divine masculine are just energies. We both have both within, so you just change around those energies on how it resonates with you. Now I've got the Light Seers deck. I'm going to pull some clarifiers, and we're going to find out more about this Eight of Swords divine feminine character. I just noticed that this is 22 minutes long already. So guys, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to end the reading right here and consider this Single and Sexy Part 1. And then we'll take a look at the Divine Feminine in Part 2 and ask how the universe wants us to perceive this portal energy. And in this situation, what is it, the lesson, what is the spiritual teaching that we can get out of this? So hop on over to Part 2. All right, we'll see you over there. Peace.